Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would talk about perfumes in my collection that feature a rose note. Rose is always a flower I didn't think I was that fond of. They're pretty, but I didn't particularly like the smell, so I didn't think I'd ever like that in a fragrance, but it turns out that I found 15 of them in my collection. I do quite enjoy a certain type of rose note in my perfumes. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one I have here is Lancome's Idole. This is the Nectar flanker. I actually have the travel spray on my perfume tray for the month of March. I'm going to be doing a new video for that soon here in a couple days. And I can definitely smell the rose in here, fresh from the sprayer. Once I put it on my skin, I get more of the like caramel popcorn and I'm trying to think what the other note is. I'm not sure if it's vanilla that's in the base as well, but I believe there are a couple types of rose in here. So this is a rose heavy fragrance, but it smells really beautiful. And as it's been warming up and I've been wearing this more and more, I just have been really loving it more and more. So I actually bought the travel spray and this small one at the same time. There was a sale going on at Ulta. So I am more than halfway through the travel spray that's on my March perfume tray. And I am probably going to be dipping into this one very soon. But this one is definitely, so far, my favorite from the Idole line that I have tried. The next one I have, and I actually forgot I even had it, is the Balenciaga's Florabotanica. I had a large bottle a couple years ago, and I got a new, I think this is the 1 ounce. Yeah, this is the 30 ml bottle, and I got this, I want to say maybe a year or so ago, and it was just in my backup bottle section, and I completely forgot about it. I know that this has been discontinued. I know there's been some issues with the brand. This is a nice, very herbal, fresh, very green fragrance. I wouldn't say that I smell the rose specifically, but this does smell like a big outdoor garden, right, with lots of greenery, very lush. This is a really nice fragrance for, I mean, you can wear it year round. It could be a signature scent, but I do prefer wearing it kind of like in the spring and summertime. I don't think that I would repurchase it. You can still find this on third-party retailers. That's where I found this. I believe I purchased this from either Fragrance X or Fragrance Net, and I got it for a really good price. But once I'm done with this one, I don't think I'll miss it from my collection, but I do really love the bottle. It is very cool. One of the coolest bottles in my collection. The next one I have here is Valentino. This is the Born in Roma, the Coral Fantasy flanker. And this does have a note of rose in the mid. And this is one of my favorite perfumes to reach for when the weather gets warm. It has a really beautiful, juicy, fruity opening with the kiwi, and I believe there's orange. There is a rose note in the mid. I wouldn't say I pick up on that too much. It's really well blended. But there is a note of rose in here. So if you like the Valentino fragrances and you do like fruity florals and you like rose, I would recommend getting a sample of this or going into Sephora or Ulta and giving it a sniff. Not a safe blind buy, just because I've heard really polarizing reviews on this. I didn't think I would like it based on the reviews, but I got a hold of a deluxe sample and went through it very quickly. I really love this one. This is the 100 ml bottle too, I believe. This is one of my favorites for warm weather. The next one I have here, and I was actually surprised to see that there was rose in it. This is the Guerlain Gourmand Cocaine. I bought this, I want to say last year, maybe in the spring. Every time I open it up and smell it, it just smells better and better. Like I think everything is macerating and blending together. It just smells smoother and sweeter. When I first got this, I did not smell the rose at all. But when I was looking through my fragrances and realized this had a rose note, I really tried to pay attention to see if I could pick it up. And I do a little bit. I don't necessarily say, oh yes, I know that's rose in there. That's what I'm smelling. But There is a very soft, subtle floral component to this, to my nose. And I can see how it would be like a red rose petal that I'm kind of smelling. But this is a really beautiful gourmand fragrance. It's very, I think there's dark chocolate in there, so it's like very dark and I think really sultry, but it's smooth, really well blended, very beautiful, very intoxicating. I really like this, and I'm glad I was able to pick up a bottle. So yeah, but there's, I think, a rose of note somewhere in the mid for this perfume. The next one I have is Giorgio Armani's Seafiori. So this has been discontinued, but I do see bottles of this all over Mercari, Fragrance Net, Fragrance X. So I think you can still find it. Don't overpay for this fragrance. It's pretty, it's beautiful. I do enjoy wearing it, but it's not worth the price jumps that some people are charging on them. It just really isn't. But this is a really airy, sweet, fluffy, creamy black currant fragrance. People have said it smells a little bit like a strawberry milkshake, and I kind of get where they're coming from. It does still have that patchouli in the base, so not a safe blind buy. But this is a beautiful flanker of the sea perfume, and I am looking forward to wearing this some more in the spring and summer months. It's finally starting to warm up over here a little bit. The next one I have is also a sea fragrance, but this is the intense version. This is more like the original sea, but it does have thicker, jammier, syrupy black currant note in here. And I think I also do pick up the rose a little bit more in this one than I do the original sea. The original sea, I'm not sure if it even has rose in it. I don't have a full bottle, just a travel spray, but I definitely pick up that kind of red rose petal vibe in here a little bit. This is a beautiful fragrance. I get compliments on it every time I wear it. It is sweet. It definitely has that patchouli in the base. It's ambery, it's warm, it's sexy, but it's still good enough to wear as a signature scent every day, so far all year round. I think I have worn this in all seasons. I can't remember if I wore this last summer because I don't know if I have had it that long, but I am going to probably wear it this summer to test it out and see how it goes. But so far, spring, fall, winter, beautiful for those seasons. I love this one of my favorite perfumes in my collection. The next one I have is by Killian, and this is Love. This is the original. My juice has definitely gotten darker since I got this. It was a very pale kind of peach orange color, and it's darkened up since I purchased it last year. This was on my tray for this month, and this is incredibly intoxicating. I would say what I smell here the most is probably like the orange blossom. And I think there's a marshmallow note in here. I don't see it listed. I think it's listed as sugar, but it does kind of have this vibe that makes me think of a really dark red rose petal that's been dipped in a little bit of syrup and like dusted with powdered sugar. It is incredibly sweet, addictive. It can be a bit much. The first time I ever smelled this fragrance, I was not a fan. It made me incredibly nauseous. But I have, I think I just kept sampling it. I went back to it because I was curious because everybody was raving about how good it was and I just didn't understand. So I don't know if my sample had time to macerate and get deeper and, develop some depth to it that I really enjoyed, or if my nose just developed and changed over time. But I went back, smelled it, fell in love, bought the bottle, and this is a beautiful fragrance with a rose note in there. Now, I'm also interested in trying the extreme version because I heard that the rose note in there is very prominent, and since I'm discovering that I actually do enjoy rose in my perfumes, I kind of want to see how it compares to the original one, if I would like it more, if I'm going to like the original more. So maybe I'll try to see if I can pick it up during a sale, because it is very pricey and Killian's prices just keep going up and up and up. But I do want to check out the extreme version, but this is definitely a beautiful perfume. The next one I have is Dior's Poison Girl. This is one of my favorites. And when I did my top 10 for life, I had a hard time because I really wanted to add this in here. But there was just other fragrances that I know I reach for more because I can get away with them year round. This is a very powdery fragrance, not overly powdery, because when things get too powdery, I'm not a huge fan of them, but it is powdery until it kind of settles down and dries down on the skin. But there's a really strong blast of like citrus and bitter orange in the top. There's some almond that I pick up. I believe there's tonka bean in the base, but there is rose. I think it's in the mid, but this is definitely one of my favorite perfumes in my collection. It is incredibly toxicating. I have gotten compliments. This is something that it seems like men especially really enjoy this fragrance. I have a couple of backup bottles because at one point it seemed like it had been discontinued. Seems like it's back in stock now, so I guess I didn't have to worry that hard, but I don't mind having a backup bottle because I do enjoy wearing this. Maybe I'll wear it. Maybe I'll wear it today when I go out. But yeah, just definitely a beautiful fragrance that has a rose note in there. The next perfume I have for my collection is Kayali's Lovefest Burning Cherry. I didn't even realize there was a rose note in here at first because what I really do smell straight away is like a dark cherry and the raspberry. Then I get a lot of woody notes, which I love. I love smoky, woody fragrances. But there is a rose note. I believe it's in the mid of this. So not a safe blind buy. I bought this during the 30% off sale on Kayali's website. So to me, that made it really worth it because the longevity is not great. It's not horrible. I've definitely sampled perfumes that don't last as long as this one. But at 30% off to me, being one of my favorite perfumes and definitely my second favorite Kayali fragrance, I thought 30% off was a great price for this. I also have Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, or I did have it. And I prefer the Kayali version better, I think because it has the woody notes in there. And there's like Palo Santo in there, I believe. It's more of kind of my taste when it comes to fragrances, especially a fragrance with cherry in it. But if you like cherry, if you like rose and you like woody fragrances, get a sample of this or give it a sniff if you can. I really love this one. It's super intoxicating. The next one I have is another Dior perfume. This is J'Adore. This is the original one. This perfume has been around for a very long time. I actually wore this last night. This has a ton of notes. So when I say I don't particularly smell the rose, I don't particularly smell any one note in here. I think I pick up a little bit of the fruity notes in the opening. But it's very well blended considering how many notes are in here. Beautiful bottle, right? This is the full. I think I got the 100 ml or whatever the biggest size was. Yeah, this is the 100 ml. This is a really beautiful, clean, classy fragrance. It's easy to wear, signature scent worthy. I like to wear it out of the shower or when I want to smell pretty and nice, but not overpowering, and not like anything specific. It just smells really nice and clean. And I have gotten a couple of compliments on it when I've worn it. I will be reaching for this more in the spring and summer months because I haven't given it as much love as I would like to. It's been worn a few times, but every time I wear it, I forget how pretty it is and how much I like it. So if you like rose, this is one to sample. I have 3 Parfums de Marly's coming up. So the next one I have is Cassili from Parfums de Marly. This is new to my collection. I believe I got this just like a month or so ago. So the predominant note in here that I smell is kind of like a peachy note, but I think there's actually plum in here. But there is a rose note in here, and it's sweet. It's not a spicy fragrance, but there's something in there that gives it like a little bit of a soft spice tickle. And it's creamy. It's sultry. I find it to be a very intoxicating fragrance. This one is great if you layer it with the Kayali Vanilla 28, if you want to amp up the vanilla that's in the base of this fragrance. But this is definitely one of my favorite perfumes from the house, and I am definitely going to be reaching for this more in the month of April. But yeah, the rose note in here is nice. So if you like rose, if you like plum fragrances, and you can get a sample, not a safe blind buy at all. I would say give it a try. This is definitely one of my favorite. I say that about all of them. I try not to keep anything in my collection that I don't love, but this is definitely one of my favorites, and I'm very excited to wear it next month. The next one I have from Parfums de Marly is Delena La Rose, and even just the name just tells you, right, it's rose, and I do pick up the rose in here for sure. This is the fresher aquatic version of the original Delina. There is pear in the top, which I love. And I think this has vetiver and other woody notes, maybe like a musk, a white musk in the base. I can't remember. This was the first feminine Parfums de Marly perfume that I purchased. I've sampled the original Delina, which is beautiful. I didn't like it that much when I first tried it. I really like it now, but this was the one that was for me because I do like fresh and more aquatic fragrances, and the original Delina was not that it was too heavy, but the incense and the rhubarb in there. The rhubarb was too tart for me at the time. I like it now, and I believe it's the incense that was in there. It gave me a headache if I smelled it too much, so I had to spray it really lightly. But this one I really enjoy, and you definitely smell the rose, but it's like a fresh dew covered rose, and this is another one of my favorites to wear in the summertime. I'll probably start wearing it now that it's starting to warm up outside, but when summer hits and it's hot, this is definitely one of my easy reach perfumes. I really love this one. If you can get your nose on it to give it a sniff, I definitely recommend it. And the last one I have from from Parfums de Marly is the Delena Exclusive. This one I finally got my hands on a sample. I was having a hard time procuring one, and this was a love at first sniff. As soon as I sprayed it on my skin, it is a darker, deeper, sexier version of Delena, in my opinion. I believe there's added vanilla in the base. There is pear in the top. I believe the rhubarb has been left out of this one. But yeah, same thing with like that dark red rose that's just been dusted with like a powdered sugar. It's so beautiful. I find it incredibly intoxicating. I would say for the feminine Parfum de Marly fragrances, this is my favorite, hands down. In the summertime, it's hard because I reach for the La Rose one, and then it's my favorite. But if I had to just choose one, the Exclusive is the one that I would pick. I love this fragrance. It is absolutely beautiful, but still not a safe blind buy. But if you can get a sample, I think it's definitely worth a try. The next one I have is Narciso Rodriguez Musc Noir Rose for her. I believe I got the 50 ml bottle. This was a blind buy. I got it last year, and I had tried, oh my gosh, it smells so good. I had tried another one of the fragrances from this brand, and I did not like it. I think it was just the original one. It was so sharp. And I can't remember if it was powdery or not, but I think it was. I think it was like super sharp and incredibly powdery. I did not like it at all. And I thought I would because I love musk in fragrances, but I just wasn't getting along with that one. But after just people describing what this smelled like, the bottle, I won't lie, the bottle got me. This kind of dark see-through pink with a black bottle. Very, very nice looking on the vanity. But the way people described it, I was curious. So there was a sale at Macy's. I grabbed a bottle, and this is beautiful. It definitely, rose in there. There's musk, but it's soft. I don't find it to be a sharp musk at all. And the vanilla in here just makes it incredibly intoxicating. So this is another great signature scent. This is a great out of the shower scent. You can wear it for a date night. I think it's a great year-round type of fragrance. And it leaves a really beautiful trail. So you just kind of get this soft waft of like a sexy, musky vanilla with a little bit of rose in there. It's not going to be a beast mode fragrance, but I found that it lasts a decent amount of time on my skin and that it projects well enough for what it is. This is not something I think I would want to be that strong. I find the performance to be great for the price, the scent profile. Yeah, this is just a beautiful rose fragrance. So if you have ever tried a Narciso Rodriguez and it just wasn't for you, it was too sharp, too musky, I do recommend giving this one a try. It is very different from the other ones in my opinion, and I like it so much it makes me want to go back and try some of the older ones, and I'm looking forward to the newer one that I just heard somebody talking about is coming out. I'm like now curious about the brand and want to try more, but this is a beautiful rose vanilla musk perfume. And the last one I have is Lancome Oud Bouquet. This is, I believe this was also a blind buy perfume. The bottle is absolutely stunning. It has like these 2 gold plates. And then if you turn the bottle this way, you can actually see the name. So it makes me think that this is the front. But you can see the gold engraving from the plate in the back. This is this is a beast mode fragrance. This is like 2 sprays, and I spray it lightly. And I'm not an oversprayer, but I spray generously now that I've gotten more into fragrances. But this one is strong, and it can be cloying and headache inducing if you go overboard. I've worn this several times. It barely looks like there's any gone because, again, I usually only need 1, maybe 2 sprays. But this is a very dark, sweet, jammy fragrance. There's praline in there, which adds some sweetness. It does have that woody vibe in the background. It's so sweet. It's so good. It's so seductive. I love this perfume. I don't know that I'll ever get through the bottle because it's so big and you only need, such a tiny amount. But this is definitely one that I would want to keep in my collection forever. I've also tried the Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, which I really liked. It reminded me of this one, and I didn't want to have 2 in my collection that were so similar. But if I'm remembering correctly, the Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper was a little bit of an easier reach. So I actually might get a bottle because sometimes I'm in the mood for this, but I just can't handle it because it's hot outside or the vibe I'm going for is not what I think is appropriate for this fragrance. You can obviously wear whatever you want when you want, but I wear this more like when I'm going out, if I want my fragrance to definitely be noticed and kind of cut through the crowd. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful rose fragrance, but I do recommend sampling it. I bought this from, I believe I got this from Fragrance X as well, maybe Fragrance Net. I get a lot of my perfumes from there because I like to wait for a deal if possible. The full price of some of these perfumes, I just have a hard time justifying it. There's a few that I would pay full price for. This one is one of them now that I have it in my collection, but I was able to get a good deal on it, so I snatched it up. Okay, so here are all, or what I think is all. I had a hard time going through and finding them all. Rose perfumes in my collection. I have 15 of them here. If you have any recommendations for me, please leave them down in the comments below. I'm always on the hunt for another perfume that I'm going to love to add to my collection. Other than that, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.